Welcome to Georgian Downs in Innisfil, Ontario, just south of Barrie, Ontario, for the presentation, COSA-TV's presentation of the Honorable Earl Rowe Invitational Trots. 23 degrees, partly cloudy, but no rain in the forecast and no real wind to speak of either. So a nice night for a big race here at Georgian Downs. And don't adjust your monitor. Robert Reed Jr. has been given the keys to the broadcast desk this evening. Greg Blanchard, of course, in PEI for the Gold Cup and Saucer last night. Mark McKelvey, he had some business to take care of for the King's Plate at our good friends at Woodbine Thoroughbreds. But I do have someone else who was at that prestigious race today. Jim Gillespie is alongside me today. Jim, so you were at the King's Plate earlier today, and then you made the trek up here for now a doubleheader.
Yeah, second track and second breed of the day, but with the absence of Mark and Greg tonight, happy to draw off the also eligible list and looking forward to the main event tonight.
Well, happy to have you here alongside me, pal. And when I was a kid, one of my favorite doubleheaders was always the thoroughbred standardbred doubleheader, right?
For
They
sure.
did it so many times. But, you get to have your say tonight, folks, if you're tuning in at home. And who is your pick in the Earl Rowe? That's the question we're posing to you. And feel free to, make your comment on the Facebook presentation of our broadcast, where you'll have an opportunity to win a very valuable collectible. And that is the So Much More autographed trading cards, of course, signed by her primary driver, James McDonald. And Jim, when these first came out, they were given away at Western Fair. They were a huge hit, big lineup to get them. Of course, I got in that line about 5 or 6 times to get a few of them, but highly coveted card.
Yeah, certainly a collectible item right now, and maybe we could get our hands on a few of Donnie signing a couple.
Yeah, that'd even be better. I had James sign some, Pacing Queen, some with their lifetime mark. I'd love to actually get the whole crew,
for sure,
right, to sign a couple, make it even more valuable. But at this time, let's go to the third member of our broadcast team, Jamie McDonald, who's going to be giving us thoughts from the paddock throughout the evening.
Thanks, guys. I'm just sitting here in the first turn. Like you said, absolutely gorgeous night, and we have some fantastic race coverage for you this evening. Here at Georgian Downs, we're covering races 7 through 9 for our 3-card feature on COSA-TV. The first one is our second leg of our prospect series for our 3-year-old trotting fillies. Race 8 is non-winners of $5,000, and then moving on to race 9, our feature on the card is the Earl Rowe Memorial Trot for $100,000. We definitely have some top prospects here in that race, and a few of them coming up we could see later in the week at Mohawk as well. But I'll be catching up with some of those connections in the paddock a little bit later on, so stay tuned after this quick commercial break.
The racing is fast and exciting at the picturesque Woodbine and Woodbine Mohawk Park racetracks in Ontario, Canada. Woodbine Standardbred, home of the Pepsi North America Cup, a summer classic.
Pebble Beach in Iran.
And Woodbine Thoroughbred, home of the historic King's Plate.
But the mighty filly has devastated them.
Full fields, exotic wagers, iconic events. Play Woodbine Thoroughbred and Woodbine Standardbred today at your favorite wagering location.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine's new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online, offers the best online service available. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easily as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To view the sales schedule, create your account, or learn more, visit www.preferredequineonline.com or call our sales team at 914-773-7777.
Welcome back to the broadcast, and right now on the screen you'll see some of the track records and Canadian records here, Jim, and of course the Honorable Earl Rowe Invitational Trot tonight. And on that screen you can see the co-holders of the record. We got Looks Like a Chippendale and Forbidden Trade, 51-3. Night like tonight, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, very doable, Robert. 51-3. I believe both of them came from the same stable, Luke Blaze And any thoughts on maybe achieving that goal tonight?
I mean, you know what? There's no wind. I mean, it's probably warm enough, right? And it's a real nice field in this installment. There's no question about it. But you know, I was here for the Forbidden Trade one, and that was an incredible performance. So tough to top that one, but who knows, right? I mean, it's the right kind of field tonight to maybe see that broken.
And he's a horse we've seen back in the box recently in the qualifiers back at Mohawk.
Yeah, no, it's true. I'm looking forward to actually seeing him, get back in real racing. Hamiltonian champion and one of my favorites, no doubt about that. But at this time, talking about horses that maybe have a chance at breaking that track record, well, we've got Oni Hall, a feature on him with his trainer, Chantel Mitchell. Let's take a look at that.
Hi, I'm Chantel Mitchell, trainer of Oni Hall, racing tonight in the Earl Rowe.
It's a neck in front now for Oni Hall. Oni Hall had a great beginning. He's got an excellent finish in him. Oni Hall, Henry for Mitchell.
He is a little quirky. When he came to us, we knew that he had some issues getting on the racetrack. The funny thing was here, he never did it until I put the race bike on him the first time. Then he just froze, stood there. And so we walked in and we figured out a way to work with him. And knock on wood, he's been a lot better. We've got a routine that works for him now, and he'll stand for about 15 seconds and then he goes right on the track. So hopefully it stays that way. He's a trotter that will make a break the odd time if the track's a little slippery, something like that. But otherwise, he's very professional. Maybe he's a touch slower than he was a couple years ago, but he trotted his fastest mile of his life this last Monday. So not of this year, I should say, but I'm hoping he's going into this race really good. I think he feels good. We decided not to keep him eligible to the Maple Leaf Trot just because he always seemed to be a step behind those horses. So we just have preferreds or free-for-alls at Mohawk, and hopefully he can just keep grinding out some good money there.
Some great thoughts there from Chantel Mitchell of her charge, Oni Hall, who a horse has really made a big impact on racing in Ontario since coming up here in 2020, and one that when he's at his best, he can really compete with the best ones at Mohawk Park and beyond.
Yep, he's a horse who's been through the Bob McIntosh stable, Brett Pelling for a short spree, and now he's with Chantel. And like she touched on, I believe went his fastest mile of his life last week.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, let's now talk to the man who is the defending champion, right, aboard Fashion Frenzy. We'll talk to his pilot, Louis Philippe in the paddock with Jamie McDonald.
Thanks, guys. Like you said, I do have Louis Philippe here, leaving from Post 5 with Fashion Frenzy. Now, rewind to last week. You guys lost a shoe. At what point did that happen in the race?
In the first turn, but I actually got hit by it, and I was looking a little bit the front leg, and I couldn't see nothing. And he kept trotting pretty good, so I didn't bother about it. And then pulling up, I noticed it was, I think, the left hind shoe, if I remember well, that he lost, but didn't bother him.
I was going to ask, does that affect them, and do you have to keep more of an eye on it when something like that happens?
Well, like every trotters are different. I would say 80% of the trotters would be better if they could race without shoe behind. So I don't know if it helped him or just didn't bother him at all. But like I said, he didn't put a step or nothing, and he actually beat his mark that night. So I would say probably helped him more than it bothered him.
Now, this horse has been, back and forth with Logan Park all year, and they haven't raced consistently week to week. Has that affected them in the race? Like, how do you keep them fresh, not knowing when their next start's going to be out on the track?
Well, I don't know for Logan Park, but for example, working a little bit with Richard's team, with Richard's connection for Fashion Frenzy, I know he pretty much always made sure that he was kind of ready to go, either schooling him, and so probably just kept him more fresh than any tightness issue, like people would say. So coming in tonight, he's fresh. I remember here last year, he had a little bit of foot issues, and he was I would say not 100% sound, and he still performed pretty well here. So I'm even more optimistic going in tonight.
Well, thank you for joining us here, and good luck in tonight's Earl Rowe.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jamie and Louis. Great thoughts from Louis Philippe right there on a horse, that's really, been a dominant force last couple of years, Jim.
Yeah, defending champ, I believe, Robert. And, 3 shoes or 4 shoes. He was very dominant, or close call last week, but got the job done.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Well, there's the Prospect Series going to the post right now. Just 3 in the field, but they're going to the gate right now in the 7th race here at Georgian Downs. But we'll pass you over to the voice of Georgian Downs, Gary Guy, for the race call.
It's a field of 3 for race number 7. Don't get parked. It's post time. And the field for the 7th race is at the start of the rough. And Savannah's Dream is gunning out with Angeliki. And then it is Angela KT who's back trailing the field. Savannah's Dream, but Bruce Richardson has a lead of about 3 lengths right now. Angeliki, Primetime Bob racing second, and Angela KT and Brett McDonald is third. About 4 1/4 lengths cover the field as they race their way off the turn, and they head on towards us. And right now, Bruce Richardson on top as they race their way on past the opening quarter. And that lead is a length and 3/4. The opening quarter was 31 3. Racing position second is Angeliki, who's staying close in the pocket. Then a gap of about a length, and then it is back to Angela KT, who's currently racing last as they work their way up towards the half. And off that 31 3 opening quarter, they head their way on past the half, and it is Savannah's Dream, of course, not being prompted at all, and Angeliki is on the inside. There goes Angela KT now. Is going to make a move and has come on and has gained a spot and is bearing down on Savannah's Dream. Savannah's Dream has got the lead. Angela KT is racing second, and Angeliki is third, and they hustle their way toward 3/4 of a half of 103, and it is Savannah's Dream off that soft half, who's looking good on top, but being pressured by Angela KT. And then Angeliki's on the inside third. 3/4 was 132 4. Savannah's Dream on the outside. Angela KT. Angeliki to the outside now is trying to make it a trio coming on down the lane, spread out 3 wide, and off stride went Angeliki, and it is Savannah's Dream on the inside to the outside. Angela KT. Savannah's Dream is going to win it. Angela KT second, and then Angeliki third, 202 3.
Savannah's Dream getting the job done there in the Prospect Series, Jim. And you know what, interesting, a 3-horse field, don't expect to see, that kind of action, kind of bridle to bridle on the turn for home. Sure looked like Angeliki was going to go by, and we both were waiting for that. And then she, of course, self-destructed, made a break in stride.
Yeah, it looked like she was going to flip off cover there, Robert. And, Bruce Richardson, gate to wire.
Yeah, you know what, and it looked a little bit dicey for a little bit there, but, you kind of look at these 2 horses. One's, just 2 victories, but has 21 starts and many on the board finishes. The other one, not with the same success. Probably that helps her, fend that one off. And, of course, Savannah's Dream, a heavy favorite there. But, nice performance there from Savannah's Dream. But Angeliki was one that we both kind of said, real nice horse last year, obviously had some issues. Still made a break in stride, but one to watch for.
Yep, I would definitely say one to keep an eye on. And, these 3 fillies picked up some valuable points for the Prospect Series, which is getting ready to Prospect Finals, which are getting ready at the end of the month in September.
And this Prospect Series, we were talking about it earlier before the show started, such an important part of the Ontario program now.
Yeah, maybe touch on the 3 divisions and explain to the viewers what, the ABC level, or touch on that.
Yeah, well, the thing, for me that I love about it is, growing up, I always had the gold, eliminations, right, to advance to the golds. And now they have their own divisions for the elite horses, obviously at 2 and 3. Grassroots have now become kind of like a junior gold, right?
Yep.
So you need to have this level, the entry level kind of, right, to give them a chance to come in and get their feet wet.
And, the Ontario program, it certainly has had its share of superstars, and you just look into tonight's feature event, looking at Logan and Frenzy, and, it's very deep.
It is. Yeah, no doubt about it. We see horses that evolve right through it and go on to huge things, and, not unheard of to see a horse, step up from the Prospect Series to the Grassroots. maybe a big stretch for them to get to the gold level, but grassroots to gold is kind of a transition we see all the time.
Yep, lots of times, similar speeds, but different competition, right?
All right, well, there's Savannah's Dream getting her picture taken, but we're going to wrap for a commercial break. We'll be back just shortly.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with hpibet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming and your first bet is on us. Go to hpibet.com to join for free today.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
Bob McClure joins us now here inside the paddock, just coming off the last race. I caught him before he ran away. No, but he leaves from post 4 with Warwick, a 4-year-old mare going against some tough boys. Kind of what is that feeling when you go out on the track when the girls got to race against the boys?
Well, I mean, her and Adair got to do that. There's just not enough mares up here for them to stay busy with only mares. But, you know, they're 2 capable mares, and I think they can go with anything.
It seems like a common occurrence. Fashion Frenzy threw a shoe last week, too. You did as well. When that happens, you know, I was talking to Louie, and he didn't really know it was a shoe at the time, but then figured it out. At what point did you know she lost her shoe?
Well, I actually didn't know till I pulled up, but I thought, I didn't think she got home as good as she usually does. You know, she was trotting perfect and fine, but she does have a gait where if she loses a shoe, she loses a lot of traction. So I don't think anything bothers her. She trotted through it. Like, you know, it's nothing to worry about. And honestly, if she threw it at the quarter, she probably would have been fine anyway.
Now, you've been with her over the years. How have you seen her progress and grow? And you guys grow together as well, because it's got to be a learning curve year to year.
Well, I picked her up last year at 3, or in a maiden. You know, I think 2 or 3 people booked off her for me to get to her. And she was second the first start, and then, you know, then she went on that run. She won about 7, I think, or 8 in a row. And then it was the Hambo Oaks she won, and then, you know, it just grew from there. She went from being a maiden and to a Grand Circuit horse in a real hurry. And she's one of my favorite horses of all time. She's not always the easiest, but right now she's pretty push button. And you know, I always enjoy driving for Mark and Sean Stacy too, so it's just fun to be on the ride with her.
Well, thanks for joining us here, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Bob McClure, 2-time winner of the Honorable Earl Rowe Invitational Trot. And you know, Jim, we're always in you. People on Twitter actually say I'm the president of her fan club.
I have heard you're pretty high on the fan club of her.
I am. You know, lately, you know, obviously she hasn't been in the winner's circle in a while. Been a little bit rough having that position, but hey, I think you know, she's going to really start doing some good things, maybe even tonight. But she's not the only leading lady who's going to be competing in that featured event. Also, Adair Castle, a winner of over $1.3 million, and was the sweetheart of the OSS program at 2 and 3. Let's hear more from her trainer, Mark Etzel.
Hi, I'm Mark Etzel, trainer of Adair Castle, racing tonight in the Earl Rowe Invitational.
It's Adair Castle with the lead as they come into the final 16th. Adair Castle trying to close it out. Frank's Angel is coming on. Adair Castle, Frank's Angel. Adair Castle will get the W.
She's come back really well as a 4-year-old. She won the Graduate Series, which we were very happy with. She's racing in the Invite against the boys when we choose to put her in and holding her own. She's racing quite well. And it's a tough decision. It's a tough year for 4-year-old mares because they have to step up the race, not race against fillies anymore. Have to race against older horses, which is a lot tougher. So it's a big step for them. Her future plans racing for the rest of this year, we have hopefully the final of the Miss Versatility, and she's eligible for the Breeders' Crown. So we'll take it one day at a time. The decision for her future will be probably around November. Whether we're going to breed her next year or continue racing her. Depends on classes we can find. It's tough to race them, the fillies against the boys, but she's been holding her own, so we'll see. When she first started as a 2-year-old, she trained down pretty average. I wouldn't say there was nothing exceptional about her until we qualified her. And the first time we qualified her, she kicked home 27, and I thought, man, this might be a good one. Then she won her first start in 57 and just kept rolling from there. She won the final, the super final for 2-year-old fillies. That was the highlight. That was our first ever, so that was really a good moment for us. 3-year-old year, she had a great year. She, I wouldn't say she dominated the class, but she sure was one of the better ones. She got beat in the final, but it was nobody's fault. It just was a trip that didn't work out, and still finished second. We were quite happy.
Great to hear from Mark Etzel on Adair Castle, and Mark's had so much longevity in the sport, Jim, and for me, watching him make the transition mostly from pacers to trotters, he's hit it right out of the park.
Yeah, you can't say enough good things about Mark Etzel. Just the job he's done managing this filly and having her good when it counts, and just a real good job all around.
And like he said, not easy for a horse to make the transition to 4, and she's done so with so much success, right? 6 for 12, over 155,000 made. But there is a look at the entire field for the Earl Rowe Invitational, and obviously your attention goes directly to Fashion Frenzy because he is the defending champion, and he's just had incredible success in the free-for-all at Mohawk Park. But his big rival, although drawing a bit of a more difficult post, is always right there with him, and sometimes getting the better of him this season.
Yeah, Logan Park, he is, they're definitely arch nemesis, you could say. Both grew up in the Ontario program, raced against each other all the time. And, Logan Park's driver back in from Europe, Doug McNair, had a good showing over in Germany and Berlin and everywhere else. Yeah. But one of the things staying out with Logan Park right now is maybe his younger full sister.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Willie's home run, right? My best bet last night at Mohawk Park, didn't get the job done, but still raced well in defeat. Pretty neat to kind of see her out there now having success in the Ontario program.
Yep, and she looks like she's got a bright career for sure.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Doug McNair, by the way. Congrats to Doug on that second place finish, right, in the World Driving Championships. And I marvel at the schedule these guys keep, travel schedule. I mean, we see them driving around all over Ontario, south of the border. The man had to come back from Europe, and he was right back in the golds.
And what about the last day he had there, making it come right down to the wire in the last race?
Yeah.
And real good showing from Doug.
Yeah, absolutely. Doug, a big-time competitor, and happy to see him having success there. There's the post parade right now going on the track for race number 8 here at Georgian Downs, which is a maiden trot. Kind of the other end of it, right, Jim? We got the Earl Rowe, and now we've got the maiden trotters on the track right now in race number 8. So horses that a lot less experience, and obviously all light in the win column.
Well, we are into mid-August now, and most of these are 3-year-olds. The lone 2-year-old Twist of Tabby. But, someone's going to come out of this race a winner, Robert.
Yeah. And you think about it, too. You see it so often now with allowances and stuff like that. A maiden race really isn't a maiden race. There's horses that may have won 2 or 3 times. In this race, it's a true non-winners of a race.
It's a true maiden, and it's a full field, and real good handicapping race.
Yeah, it is. It was funny, walking through, the grandstand. I'm here with my family today, and there's some people that haven't, been to the races before, and they're asking me, how would you approach race number 8? And I said, well, maiden trotters, you're probably better off taking a stab at it yourself, because because I don't really, have a strong opinion on those races. I mean, obviously you can go by what you've seen recently, and what I said was, Sister Act, or it's like the 7 Sister Act for Sean Stacey, right? Maybe good connections, right? Strong connections there, and he's been kind of heating up as of late as well as he usually is. Yeah, I mean, maiden trotters, anything can happen.
Anything can certainly happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there it is there, folks. Repeat-minded. And there's the horses that have won this race. Back-to-back winners. Of course, we know Fashion Frenzy is going to be looking to do that this evening after a dominant performance last year in this race. One actually that got washed away, right, on the scheduled date.
Right.
And then there was a second date that came up that was even in closer proximity to the Maple Leaf Trot. But Abbey Road C, I was talking to Keith Jones earlier. Abbey Road C, fantastic trotter. I remember, him winning back-to-back. Looks like a Chippendale, PL Jill, and I mean, not a back-to-back win, but a 2-time winner, JM Van Gogh. I always talk about, win streaks and stuff like that. No matter what, if you win a race like this in back-to-back years or even multiple times, you're one heck of a trotter.
Yep, and JM Van Gogh, Ron Waples fame, I believe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the legend Ron Waples, many, it's debatable, obviously. I know quite a few that will call him, the GOAT of driving, greatest of all time. I would say it's tough for me to separate him and John Campbell, but many will say that Ron was the greatest to ever do it. But we're approaching post time for this maiden trotting event, and what's your approach, Jim, in a race like this?
Sister Act, she was a big ticket yearling, taking a spin here in the B track. Last time she was here, she went off at just under 2-1. Unfortunately, made a miscue, which is that's got to be on everyone's radar.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say she has to be the class of this field.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, obviously she's going to be bet down and probably go off as a pretty hefty favorite. I would certainly think in here. And right now, well, she's actually 3-1, so that's a little bit of a surprise on the odds board. But same connections, right, as we're going to see with Warwick, Bob McClure, Sean Stacey, and Bob's getting back aboard this one. I believe he has driven her before. But again, you're talking about a race where a horse like her, 15 chances to break her maiden, hasn't done so yet. Some people believe you look at the ones that maybe haven't had so many chances, that
right.
have had less chances to break their maiden, and maybe they might be due for a victory. Anyone jump out at you for that?
Any long shot? I would have to think Brett McDonald's horse. He seems to be in a good routine of staying flat, and chopped it out last time. Just got picked off at the wire in 59-4. I would have to think a similar effort would have him pretty close in here.
Well, there you go. Good post work from 2, post 3. And we've got Gary Guy with the race call. Full field of 9 going postward in a non-winners of 1 or 5,000 lifetime event. Enjoy the race.
On the inside. In the center, Twist of Tabby and Wheelie Good Drinker and Scoden. To the outside, Sister Act, Synergy Essen, who's on first down. It's a field of 9. It's race number 8 on a Sunday night at Georgian Downs. It is post time. And the field for the 8th race is at the start, and they're off. And Twist of Tabby, Magic's Angel Eyes, and All-Star Majesty is third. Who's on first down is racing position 4th. Then Johnny Boots and Wheelie Good Drinker. Back further is Scoden, Sister Act, and trailing is Synergy S, and they work on around the turn. Twist of Tabby has the front. Who's on first down? Off stride, and also the break is All-Star Majesty. Magic's Angel Eyes is racing position 2nd. Johnny Boots has those boots 3rd right now as they race the right off the turn past the opening quarter in 29-3. And on the outside now making a recovery is Who's on first down. Then racing position to 5th is Wheelie Good Drinker. Then it is back to Scoden and Sister Act. And then further back, we've got Synergy S and All-Star Majesty still off stride. They roll up to the half off a 29-3 opening quarter. And Johnny Boots is now off stride and down into the safety lane. It is Twist of Tabby at 16-1 who's got the lead. And on the outside, as they work their way on down the back stretches, Who's on first down. Racing 3rd Magic's Angel Eyes. It is Twist of Tabby, who's on first. Dale has made a nice recovery from a break in stride and now is swept up and leads it by about a nose and fighting back on the inside. Twist of Tabby. It is Twist of Tabby who's got the lead. Who's on first? Dale is racing position second. Magic's Angel Eyes, and then racing position fourth is Really Good Drinker. It is Twist of Tabby off stride, who's on first. Dale. And it is Twist of Tabby as they turn for home. Now here comes Magic's Angel Eyes, who's going to take a turn at trying to collar Twist of Tabby. It is Magic's Angel Eyes, and on the outside, Really Good Drinker. Magic's Angel Eyes and Twist of Tabby as they come to the finish, and Really Good Drinker. It is Magic's Angel Eyes getting home in front. And then second appeared to go to Really Good Drinker. Then it's between Sister Act and Magic's Angel Eyes. And the mile was recorded in 2:01:04.
Well, Jim, I told, my family members that are here tonight that are playing the races, in this type of race, you might just want to spin the wheel. And
0 for 24, but 1 for 25 now, Robert.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're talking about a horse that's 53-1 on the odds board. I mean, it looked like, Sister Act was coming on there at the end of it. Didn't see much from her early. Not sure if she maybe made a miscue at some point, but, wasn't getting there. Magic Angel Eyes just bombs away. Didn't have the most appealing paper. That's why, she goes off at odds of 53-1, but ends up getting there. Certainly looked like the 2-year-olds. We kept kind of saying that didn't think Twist of Tabby was going to get beat on the engine.
No, 2 in a row for Archangel so far tonight on the show, Robert. Could be a bit of a theme.
Yeah, I certainly think it is. I mean, we've got a couple of good chances to see that, go 3 in a row on this card. There you see Sister Act on the far outside, but just too little, too late. Magic Angel Eyes. That's why they run the race, right? I mean, I'll tell everyone, it's any horse can win on any given night, and Magic Angel Eyes certainly picked an opportune time to break her maiden, 53-1, and I'll certainly prove for some nice payoffs. There's the top 4 right there on the board. Number 1, Magic Angel Eyes, of course, the winner at 50-1. Second, the 5, Really Good Drinker. James McDonald, of course, making a late charge there at 9-2. Twist of Tabby. It looked like she might go all the way on the engine. Tyler Board certainly likes to be in that spot. Third at 16-1, and Sister Act, the favorite, 8-5, just couldn't get there. Misses out on the trifecta, but will round out that superfecta wager. And Steve Byron, right, winning driver here, no stranger to the winner's circle here at Georgian Downs. He's from these parts, and tons of success over this oval.
Yeah, Steve's one of the guys who's been here for the long haul, and even at the Old Track and Barrie Raceway, he was a mainstay there for a long time.
Yeah, no, Old Barrie Raceway. Here's so many stories about it. I was probably there before I can remember it, right? But so many great stories about that racetrack. But maybe let's throw to a commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll have the prices for you.
Racing is fast and exciting at the picturesque Woodbine and Woodbine Mohawk Park racetracks in Ontario, Canada. Woodbine Standardbred, home of the Pepsi North America Cup, a summer classic.
Pebble Beach in Iran.
And Woodbine Thoroughbred, home of the historic King's Plate.
But the mighty filly has devastated them.
Full fields, exotic wagers, iconic events. Play Woodbine Thoroughbred and Woodbine Standardbred today at your favorite wagering location.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine's new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online, offers the best online service available. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easily as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To view the sales schedule, create your account, or learn more, Visit www.preferredequineonline.com or call our sales team at 914-773-7777.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Danson Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to terrahills.com.
Welcome back to the broadcast of the Honorable Earl Rowe Trot Invitational, and look at those prices right there. That's why you want to be involved.
That's why we race them.
That's right. In the wagering side of this game, congrats to those who cashed. Number 1, Magic Angel Eyes, $109.10 for a $2 win ticket. And look at those exotics. How about $800 for a $2 exacta of 1-5 with James McDonald rounding out that exacta. Trifecta, just over $1,100 with Twisted Tabby and Tyler Borth hitting there. And it's funny, you put Sister Act on the bottom end of the super, the favorite, and it pays out to an all for 4th. So just shows you that, very difficult to cash in there, but like we said, maiden trot, anything can happen. All right, well, let's take a look at our familiar foes that are going postward tonight in the big dance, and that, of course, a couple of horses you know very well, Jim. Fashion Frenzy and Logan Park. They do battle at your oval pretty much, not week in and week out because they don't get to race all the time. But every time that class goes postward, you get to see them go against each other.
They're usually on the gate together, Robert. And, something we've talked about all night is they've known each other pretty much their whole racing careers, even born 11 days apart.
That's just so amazing when you look at that, right? Both sons of Archangel and born just 11 days apart. OSS champions, right? They basically trade victories in the preferred / free-for-all every time that race goes postward. And, almost 2 million combined now. A couple of horses that really, exemplify what the Ontario program's about, and now having success as older horses and likely can compete on the world stage.
Absolutely, and these are 2 horses where I think the bulk of their campaign is coming up to the later part of the year, and, Maple Leaf Trot, Breers Crown, et cetera, and, really looking forward to that.
Yeah, kind of wishing that maybe, you see it so often, at Mohawk Park, they're starting beside each other. Today, though, big post edge really to Fashion Frenzy, post 5, Logan Park, post 8. Not saying he can't do it from out there, right, because he's such a good racehorse, but, would have liked to have seen maybe them getting a more fair of a fight.
Yep, 8-hole, smaller track, too, and both of them paid up to the Maple Leaf Trot, and the eliminations, if required, are next Friday night.
Yeah, there you go, right? So might have to come back on very short rest for that one, if there are the eliminations, but even still, this is kind of a good spot to kind of prep for that, because facing obviously tough horses, but not to the caliber they might have to face in that race.
Yep, and not a bad purse either.
Oh no, $100,000. Jody Jameson said to me once, you put $100,000 on the line, you're going to see one heck of a horse race, and it usually is, and there's a look at the horses right now. For the Earl Rowe and getting their game faces on. We'll touch on this later, but I still remember, last season, Truffles 2 coming in as a big underdog and finishing second.
Yeah, what odds did he go off at? Do you remember?
Oh, it was big. Yeah, it's I'll have to look at it we can talk about that when we're there on the track, but I think it was probably north of 70-1 anyways. And again, right, we talk about it, that's why they ran the race, in the small track obviously, favors a bit of that early speed off the gates. he's one that's gifted with that. And he doesn't have James aboard tonight, but that's the one thing I always marvel at. He wasn't going into his last effort a perfect 6 for 6 with James aboard. Of course, James is driving Adair Castle tonight. But let's go to Jamie in the paddock, who has Doug McNair, who's fresh off his competing in the World Drivers' Championship.
That's right, guys. We do have Doug McNair, maybe a little jet-lagged coming in from Europe. How was your whirlwind of the last, 10 days or so?
No, it was great. It was first class, everything they did for us over there. The meals, trips, bus rides, plane rides, everything was great. And the horses were, they showed up good for me in the last day and the first day. In between, they were a little down, but we had a lot of fun and won some races. That's the main thing.
Yeah, congratulations on finishing second and representing Canada. Probably, a top list for you, as you've got to do before and hopefully again.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to be a part of and good to hit the board.
Moving on to the Earl Rowe here, we've got Logan Park leaving from post 8. Tough post position against some really tough horses. Kind of your thoughts coming into this race with, the eligibility of the Maple Leaf Trot just on Friday.
Yeah, I haven't talked to the trainer yet, so we'll go see what he says, and we'll probably go from there. We got the 8 hole. It's a tough spot, but we got the best horse, or one of the best horses in the race. That's going to help. Doesn't matter what post you have. You want to get on the right one. So I'd rather him out of the 8 hole than a not so good one off the rail or 2 hole. So hope for some luck.
You started driving him last fall, just coming up on the last year and a bit. What's it like when you go out and you click with a horse so well on the racetrack?
Yeah, it's like you said, you click right away. You can kind of tell in the post parade how they feel and stuff. And he just felt great every time I drive him. He just gives me 100%, and he's a good ride. He's fun to drive.
Well, they're just calling you guys out, so good luck here in the Earl Rowe.
Thanks, Jamie.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie, for getting those words from Doug McNair in the paddock, just about to go out and do battle in the Earl Rowe. And Doug talked about his time over in Europe, and we know he's a real competitive type, right?
Yep.
And it was great to see him go over there, represent Canada. Ended up finishing second, but did so in fine fashion. And that's the interesting thing about this race tonight. Logan Park, he mentions it. Outside post 8 hole. You almost wonder, right? Like, you obviously want to be out there and taking on Fashion Frenzy, but there's also something big coming up too. So there's a lot at play here, Jim.
Yeah, a lot of factors coming into this race. And speaking of Europe, maybe Logan Park's someone we could potentially see for Sweden's Elite Lap one day.
That would be that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I love it when horses from over here go over there and take on those types in that prestigious race. I mean, it's last one I think was Perfetto, right?
Yep.
Recently he went over there. Didn't have the success that we probably hoped here, but it's always fun just to see them go over and compete. There they are walking out onto the track right now for the Honorable Earl Rowe. They move along quickly here, right, Jim? It's a lot of people talk about post-time drag and all that stuff. Well, at Georgian Downs, we kind of get them out pretty rapidly.
Short and sweet. The sun's just gone down and setting up for a terrific race and terrific night.
It really is. This weather could not be any better. We've had some challenging weather in the past here for this race, but not tonight. It's absolutely gorgeous, and here they come on to the track. We got a field of 8s for $100,000, the Honorable Earl Rowe Memorial Invitational Trot. And there's a look at Adair Castle. She was a sweetheart of the OSS at 2 and 3, but now has been doing good things at 4. $1.3 million in the bank for Mark Etzel. James McDonald, her usual driver, will be aboard.
Truffles 2, number 2. Bill Budd, the trainer. Tyler Borth picks up the catch drive tonight.
We got number 3, Oni Hall. Saw a great feature on him earlier. Well, that's actually going to be the 4, Warwiezenia, who's a filly or a mare who's 0 for 11 this season, but almost 300,000 made and can go with these on her best day.
Number 5, your defending champion, Fashion Frenzy. Similar connections, Louis Philippois, Richard Moreau, looking to go back-to-back.
Next up, we're going to see number 6, Kings County. Brett McDonald filling in for Jody Jameson tonight for Dominic Gladue. This is a horse that's owned by the stable. Almost 500,000 made lifetime. Bit of an outsider from post 6.
Number 7, Frank's Angel. Jason Ryan in the bike, Dagfinn Henriksen the trainer.
There's a look at number 8, Logan Park, for Doug McNair and Kyle Fellows, a horse that's just shy of 900,000 lifetime, 19 wins, and 3-1 on the board right now. No surprise, second choice of Fashion Frenzy.
And Oni Hall up to his old tactics, the last one out as usual. Number 3, Trevor Henry in the bike with Chantel Mitchell.
All right, there you have it. That's the field, and you know, we learned about that earlier about Oni Hall, kind of a horse that does have some quirks about him, but certainly an accomplished trotter in his own right, and that's why he's the last one to come out. And, you know, we talk about quirks. I mean, Fashion Frenzy was a horse. I still remember when he first came out in his career. He was kind of one that had some quirks about him, made some breaks at some, inopportune times, but now has progressed into something incredibly special and gets along so well with Louis-Philippe Rowe.
Yep, he was certainly a handful at one time, Robert. I remember the super final as a 2-year-old, I think, in the post-parade he was...
Yeah, I know, and I remember even there was some gold events. I think at Rito Carlton once, refused to hit the Trot behind the gate. But a horse that, again, that's why they have the Ontario program, right? When they're coming up through the ranks, they're still learning the game, and he's, developed now into, like I said, something incredibly special. Over 1 million made, 21 victories. But, there's others in here, that are intriguing. We talked earlier, about a horse like Truffles too, and I was talking to his connections earlier tonight, and they said how could they not, come back for another crack at this race after he raced so well. Last season he got into the 2-hole. It was Chris Christopher aboard on that occasion, and he's had a perfect trip to Fashion Frenzy and maintained his position.
Yeah, and who's the best, Robert?
Billy's the best. Billy's the best. I've known Billy for many, many years. My dad had horses with him when I was a kid, and it's great to see him with a horse like Truffles too, who a middle condition horse, probably about now, right about now is probably where he typically will ply his trade, but certainly when you can't overlook in here, because he's got that early foot off the gate, and Tyler Borth is someone that's likely going to summon that off the switch tonight. But you look at the odds board right now, right, Jim? We know there's going to be 2 horses that take the bulk of the action. And I'll be honest, I thought Fashion Frenzy might be even lower than the even money we see right now, because when he races on a regular rotation, he really is a dominant force.
Yep, and you can see that in the program last week. Went off at 20 cents with similar competition.
Yeah, at 20 cents to the dollar. And he wins by a neck. But then when you hear, what Louis-Philippe Rowe had to say, this evening about the shoe coming off and actually hitting him, which I can't even imagine trying to keep your composure when that happens. And then, finishing the race, obviously less a shoe and holding on by a neck to Logan Park. But again, I think many kind of believe that this race will come down to those 2, but there's others in here, right? You've got Warwi Xenia, one that's I think has not raced anywhere close to what her potential is as a light.
Yeah, well, there is a 150 flat line there, and it's followed by a 50 and 3. Tough to get much better than that.
True.
But she does draw the 4-hole tonight, and Bob McClure knows her well. And maybe touch on the 6 and 7 we haven't looked at yet.
Well, Kings County for me, sometimes you look at a horse that might be facing, maybe biting off more than could chew, and Frank's Angel for me is the same one. I think a smaller share, they'd be happy with that. But they're going postward, folks, for the Earl Rowe Invitational Trot. We're going to pass you over to the voice of Georgian Downs, Gary Guy.
And to the outside, Kings County, Frank's Angel, and Logan Park. It's a field of 8 trotters for the 9th race. And the field for the 9th race in the backstretch, gathering speed, approaching the start. They're at the start of the rough, and driving out on the outside is Logan Park. Also getting out alertly is Fashion Frenzy. Logan Park and Fashion Frenzy are going after it, along with Frank's Angel. Between those 2, Frank's Angel is driving on and is going to get the lead-off stride. Went Logan Park. Fashion Frenzy is racing second, and also with a break is Truffles too. And Derek Castle has broken stride. On a Hall is racing position 3rd. And now it is Fashion Frenzy in search of the front against Frank's Angel. Fashion Frenzy and Louis Bois taking over. The opening quarter was 27 seconds. Fashion Frenzy. Frank's Angel is second. On a Hall is racing third. Warwick Xenia fourth. And then it is back to Kings County and Derek Castle and Truffles 2. And Logan Park is well back after that early break in stride, trailing the field of a 27-second opening quarter. Fashion Frenzy 1-5 on the board, leads on past the half in 56-2. Fashion Frenzy, Frank's Angel at 50-1 is second right now, but On a Hall is moving on the outside. On a Hall is driving up on the outside and is come on to take over second as they work their way on towards three quarters. Fashion Frenzy leads it. On a Hall is racing second at 15-1, trying to collar the heavily favored Fashion Frenzy. Three quarters, 125. Fashion Frenzy leads the Earl Rowe to the top of the stretch. On a Hall is racing position second as they turn on down the stretch drive. Fashion Frenzy On a Hall has swung to the outside. Fashion Frenzy On a Hall and racing third Warwick Xenia and then Kings County, but Fashion Frenzy has fashioned another victory and is going to win it and take it by about 3. Then On a Hall finishing third was Warwick Xenia, then Kings County. 153 flat. Fashion Frenzy takes the Honorable Earl Rowe Memorial Trot.
Fashion Frenzy doubling up in the Honorable Earl Rowe Invitational Trot, Jim. And, you know, right off the gate, right, we kind of saw the battle that we thought we would see. But, of course, the unfortunate break in stride by Logan Park just changed everything.
Yeah, it wasn't just him. It was an eventful first turn. Adair and Truffles making miscues. Very unlike them, uncharacteristic. But great stepping stone all in all for Fashion Frenzy. Looking forward to next week.
Oh, yeah, definitely it is. I mean, I guess really for his connections couldn't be any better, right? I mean, you get to the front reasonably, reasonable fractions for him and winning in, 153 flat. That's a good prep. Obviously, now you're going to be taking on much tougher. Oni Hall, one that we said, at the top of his game, he can go with these, ends up being that second place finisher this year, and not the long shot that we saw last year with Truffles too, but certainly when you've got one like Logan Park in there and even Adair Castle, they make miscues. Opportunistic second, really, for Oni Hall.
Yeah, rounding out the super as well. Warwick Xenia with a strong effort, and maybe Kings County with, maybe not so much of a surprise. This is a horse who put away $225,000 on a 5/8 mile track in Ohio last year.
Yeah, no, it's true. And talking about that one, I'm sure the ownership group for him must be happy getting that smaller share, right, in fourth, at 45-1 against these type of horses. And Xenia, for me, doesn't have that gear that we saw from her before, but these are killers she's in against, right?
These are significantly tougher competition, and and maybe the gear is there. It's just the gear. A lot of the other ones are dealt with the same speed.
Exactly, yeah. But there he is, Fashion Frenzy, coming back to get his picture taken, second year in a row in this race, and really, just love what this horse has done. He's kind of lightly raced, every year. He doesn't go out there and have a whole lot of starts, but he packs a powerful punch.
Yep.
He really does, and again tonight, just dynamite, almost automatic for Louis Philippe and Richard Moreau.
Yep, and that's a hat trick for Archangel on the COSA-TV broadcast tonight.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's got to be maybe the first time on the show that we've ever seen a sire sweep the entire broadcast.
Yep.
I don't know. We're gonna have to look into that. That's pretty impressive, though. But we figured Archangel had a pretty good shot of closing it out here with the two favorites, but a more unlikely winner, obviously, in race number 8. But there's the connections. There's the blanket going on. Fashion Frenzy, Honorable Earl Rowe, champion 2023, gets to add the trophy there. I mean, it's a big trophy too. I wonder if we're going to see it. I remember seeing it last year, up close and personal. It's a real big trophy, and it's coming out right now, I hear. So that's going to be, there it is right there. That's a nice piece of hardware. Don't think they get to keep it, but maybe they get to hang on to it for a little bit anyways. But it's actually pretty impressive up close there. But Fashion Frenzy, a horse that now is going to obviously face tougher but he certainly will make them know they're in a horse race, right, Jim?
Yep, he's definitely, they're going to know his presence on the gate for the Maple Leaf Trot, and looking forward to seeing hopefully some of the Ontario ones do well in that race.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be nice to see. There he's going back there. Hopefully we get to hear from Louis-Philippe Bois. Looks like we might have him right now. Here we go, Jamie with Louis-Philippe Bois.
Just caught up with Louis here, and how does it feel, coming into the winner's circle? What an eventful first quarter of that race.
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of trying to get Jason behind me. I didn't mind following Logan Park. I didn't want to have to remove from the trio. You never know how Doug would have kind of had the big control on the race there. And just middle of the turn, Logan Park, actually we were going pretty fast in the turn, so we made a little miscue. And from out there, it was not say that I was 100% confident, but most of the challenge of the race was kind of done for my horse, and the rest you just kind of sail home, and it was good.
And what does it feel to be back in the winner's circle here for this race?
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's winning with Fashion Frenzy is always nice. It's one of my buddy's horse, and we've been pretty lucky together. He's over $1 million made now, and I don't know. Even I was joking, calling him. I was calling him on my way here. I said, I'm not going, I'm too tired. I was on PI last week, and he says, I woke up this morning for your horses because they were racing in the afternoon in Travers, and he says, yeah, you better wake up and go. I said, yeah, I was just kidding. And
it's nice to have that, fun atmosphere with people you work with.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm saying, even that's Francis Richard. I didn't even mention his name, but that's him that found him at the sale, bought him for $7,000, and then we bought one horse together, one yearling together this year, and her name is Resilience, and she's pretty good too. So he might just be good lucky.
Well, thank you for joining us here. Congratulations on your Earl Rowe win, and best of luck for the rest of the week. We'll see you maybe on Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jamie, for getting those thoughts from Louis-Philippe Bois, now a back-to-back winner of the Earl Rowe Invitational Trot aboard Fashion Frenzy. And Jim, you know what, Louis has been having incredible success, but let's take a look at the recap of the race here, and really, where everything kind of, changed, right, for the outlook of the race when we saw some breakers in the early going. It was really stacking up early.
Yeah, this is also new for a lot of these horses coming to this track. Different surface, different starting gate, everything's new. And, not to say it's because it was a shock to see some of these horses make a miscue, because haven't done it forever since they're young horses.
Yeah, I mean, Logan Park right there, he's kind of stacked up 3 wide there before he makes his break. Truffles too, kind of for no reason at all. And then Adair Castle may have been a chain reaction there, right? But again, you've got 2 of the top contenders and one that we thought would be heard from in the early going, all kind of self-destructing there, and like Louis even said, right, kind of set him up into a nice position where he didn't really have to do too much, with Fashion Frenzy. But let's take a look at the prices, and obviously a win ticket on Fashion Frenzy wasn't going to get you a whole heck of a lot, just $2.50. He went off as the overwhelming favorite here, as he should, as a defending champion. But that exacta with Oni Hall, not bad, right? $19, trifecta, $42 with Warrior Xenia. And then, as you mentioned, right, Kings County getting into that super, you get $363 with obviously the big favorite winning it. So congrats if you had one of those tickets.
Nice little catch drive for Brett McDonald.
It is, yeah. You get a nice little piece of the Earl Rowe, right? And so Brett McDonald, congrats to him for getting a piece of there. Well, listen, what a race that was for the Earl Rowe. But we're going to throw to a quick commercial break and be back to wrap up the evening.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with HPIBet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming, and your first bet is on us. Go to HPIBet.com to join for free today.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
All right, we're back at Georgian Downs for the COSA-TV presentation of the Honorable Earl Rowe Invitational Trot. And don't forget about the contest, folks. Still time to enter. There it is on the screen there. I want more of those myself, but it's the So Much More trading card autographed by James McDonald, a real rare collectible in high demand. You can still enter to win it by just leaving a comment on today's broadcast on Facebook. And now let's take a look at our upcoming shows that we have for you on COSA-TV, and still a big schedule, right? It's a busy time of year. Next up is the Balanced Image next weekend, August 26th at Hanover Raceway. Always a fun time there at Hanover. And then after that, we roll right into the Mohawk Million in September, and that's when it really gets busy. OSS Prospect Series, onto the Grassroots, of course, the Super Finals, and then later on in December, we got the Christmas Driver Challenge. But Jim, a real fun night. Goes by pretty quick too, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially here. They run them off quick, short and sweet, but a lot of good efforts tonight.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, this is always, one of my favorite nights. Tracks in close proximity. I'm here quite often, but a great performance by Fashion Frenzy. And next time we see him, he'll be going posted either an elimination or the final of the Maple Leaf Trot. But thank you for tuning in to our presentation of the Earl Rowe tonight, and hope you have a fantastic evening and rest of your weekend.